pinched my skin. That's not good. Odd shape on this coconut makes it difficult to break, but it's breakable in the end. There we go. Nice.
Hi, this is Jerry. I'm going to go over a little instructional video here on how to break a level 1 coconut. Well, it's not the coconut's level 1, but the level 1 break for a coconut. Much encouragement was given for me to do this. I've started noticing body mechanics and such. I've also got a great reference in a master in a Kung Fu system in Canada who is an awesome breaker and has a lot of insights on breaking coconuts also, and does all 3 levels of the coconut, which is just impressive to me. So listening to him and his guidance and his suggestions, and realizing a lot of what he said is stuff that I had thought of years ago, but it's one of the things where somebody tells you the shoes you're wearing are ugly, and many people tell you, but it doesn't click until that one person says it, and then all of a sudden it all clicks. It's kind of one of those moments. And maybe it's because of the validity of him, because he can back it up, and I kind of need that. So I did a break this morning, and I'll be showing that on this video also. That makes 3 breaks in 2 mornings. I did 2 yesterday, only caught 1 on tape then, and then 1 today. Today was specifically to test the theory of the body mechanics that I want to go over today. There are body mechanics involved more than chi. I'm a believer in chi. I do believe your body produces energy, possesses energy, and absorbs energy. And that energy's balance is necessary in life. You should be as healthy as you possibly can. But I also know the reality of iron hand training is repetition, repetition, repetition. It's not about mystical powers. It's about hitting something over and over again and applying a scientific law called Wolff's Law. Wolff's Law says that the body tissue, your bones, your muscles, will adapt to the load given to them or to the lack of load given to them. The idea with iron hand is your bones are already breaking themselves down and rebuilding every day. It's just something your body does. Your cells do the same thing. Every part of your body does it. So your bone is already going through a process of breakdown, build up every day from the stresses you put on it. What makes iron hand training different is that you're creating more force and more impact every day on your hand. So on the rebuilding process, the body automatically puts more calcium there to build the bone thicker and denser and heavier. Now, if you stop training for a while, you'll lose your iron hand skill. You'll lose a lot of it because the density, again, remember, every day the body is breaking down bone and building it back up. So, and this is in like micro tissue areas, little tiny spots you can't see, but it's happening every day. So, it's like I always say, envision a bodybuilder who's really huge, muscular, thick, and he stops working out and does maybe cardiovascular for a while. He may have had guns that big, but after a while it shrinks down because the muscle will adjust to the lack of stress as much as it will adjust to stress. So iron hand training is a lifelong process for those of you who may want to know. You can do it off and on throughout the year, but you need to be fairly consistent to maintain skills or improve in your breaking ability if that's what you're going for. I want to talk about the medium we're going to use before we get into anything else. We're talking about coconuts. A couple really important things to know about coconuts. Number one, they come in different shapes and sizes. This is the one I broke before, and I glued it back together because I thought it was pretty. And this is one that I haven't broken yet. These are very rounded. This one's more of a football shape. Some are very oddly shaped. You'll find that some have flat edges and rounder on the top. This part here will be big and bulbous and pointy, and the bottom will be more flat and withdrawn. The thing to remember about coconut breaking is you may not break every time. You may be a phenomenal breaker, but you may not be breaking every time. This is instructions geared for people that aren't masters. I'm not a master by any stretch of the imagination, but I am breaking coconuts. So I can back up what I'm saying. One of the reasons for it is this. I hope you can see this pretty well. This is one I broke this morning. Look at the dark areas around here. If you're able to still frame this and look carefully, you'll notice that certain areas are thicker than others. This is a natural growing thing. So it may grow heavier to one side, stronger to one side, weaker to another. It's much like the human skull. There are weak points in the human skull. It's one of the reasons when I was being trained in this, that we focused on coconuts as the breaking material because it's more like a real skull, and if you're going to defend yourself, that was the idea, you know. So you have, this is a thick one. This is a thick little booger, but it went pretty easy this morning. Some do and some don't. There are thinner ones, thicker ones. I always thought that the bigger they were, the thinner the shell might be. I've learned contrary. Sometimes, as it grows bigger, the walls get thicker too. Pretty nasty when you hit a really, really hard one and it's very thick. Some things to remember about coconuts is if they're not breaking for you very easily, it could be a number of reasons. Not you, it could be that it's a rotted coconut. When you shake a coconut, you should hear water in it. It should feel heavier than it looks. This one right here it's okay, but I think this was starting to go bad. But if I can break it open, then we'll find out. When you buy a coconut, there's some things to look for. You're going to find, I get most of mine at Walmart, and Walmart makes a groove. Now this groove is not a break, it's not a cut. But you have to be careful because at Walmart, when they sit for too long, or any store like that, they'll crack. Not necessarily just there, but they'll crack in other places too. Don't get a coconut that's already cracked. That's cheating. That's not doing yourself any benefit unless you're going to treat it as you've never done it before and you want to get the feel for what it's like to commit through and use it as a practice. If you do that, that's fine, but do not claim it as a break. That's not nice. It's not fair. It's not honest. And I'm a very firm believer that anything in the martial world you should be honest and have integrity about. So remember, when you're breaking coconuts, it may not be easy for you because the coconut may be more difficult than the last one. It may not be you. So I'll go over the principles of how to move your body.
Okay, level 1 coconut break. You want your coconut, of course, make sure you picked out a good one, no cracks in it. Remember, the groove mark is okay. I've never found the groove mark to help much on a break. As a matter of fact, sometimes they're off-centered. When you break it, it'll break off. Sometimes it may follow the line. That's okay. Main thing is get a good coconut, make sure it's got water, and it should feel heavier than it looks. And that'll be a good coconut, be fresh. When I first started learning to do the breaks, I did it in a kneeling position. My knees aren't that nice anymore. That was many years ago. So now I've learned to do it more in an upright position. And in the end, all the body mechanics are the same. Something to remember is when you're doing the coconut break, for me, the way I understand it and I see it is, you want to put yourself in a position where your head is slightly over the coconut. Okay? Leaning forward a bit. When you strike, you're going to come up, open the rib cage, and when you strike down, you're going to bend the knees a little bit, tighten the stomach a little bit, and on that moment of tightening is when you make contact. Now, important for me, and this is simple, I'm not going to go through a lot of detail anything here, you're going to understand this pretty quickly. There is a motion that is used in most punching, from here to here. We'll go traditional karate, okay? Here to here. Notice I keep my elbow down and tucked in. That's what you're going to do here too. You want to keep your elbow down. Now, you'll see some people come up really high and break down, but look what my elbow's doing. My elbow is almost leading my hand to where the target is. That's key to remember. Now, the way I first learned to do it was to pull up and just haul off and hit it. That's okay. My goal is to eventually hit it from about here and break it, so I'm working on that. A lot of that's just training, repetition over and over and over again, and getting the bones to allow you to take the punishment back and be able to do that. So, body mechanics are simple. Number one, we just discussed, when you throw your technique, you want to make sure you're hitting, you're not hitting down here, okay, on the bottom part of the wrist where the line is. Not hitting there. You're hitting in the pocketed part right here, but not in the center of the hand. Make sure you see that. Here's my hand. I have the line here. I'm not hitting there. That will do a lot of damage. I'm not hitting in the center of my hand either. I'm hitting right here between the two pads. If the pad's connected and made a line, right in the center in the crux there, that's where I'm striking. And I'm striking with my hand pulled back, and I'm hitting there. Now, when you get lined up for the coconut, make sure you have the spot you want. That's going to be an individual thing, and I won't discuss how to pick that spot right now. But when you drive the force, make sure the elbow is pointed down and tucked forward, close to your body, okay? And when you strike, you want to throw it like you're throwing just throwing your hand to slap something hard.
But in the end, right at the moment of contact, you want to push into the coconut. Now, when you watch yourself on video, it's not going to look like you're doing that. But if you think your muscles through and come down into it and push at the moment of your impact, you're slapping. But at the moment you're slapping, you're tightening up and pushing. That's going to create the force necessary to break the coconut. So let me go through it slow. It's pretty simple, straightforward stuff. From this angle here, I'm going to bring my hand up. Whether it's here or here doesn't matter. In the end, I'm bringing my elbow here, so I'm going to start this demonstration here. So from here, I bring my hand down to slap, and at the last possible second, as I'm starting to make contact, I pull up my fingers. If you think about it this way, pull your fingers back up and shove this part of your hand into the target. Okay? It's like hitting it like this, but you're throwing it like this. Okay? So let's go through it from the side view. Doesn't matter if you're here or here, but I'm going to show you from here. Because from here should drop to here. Come up, hands should be relaxed. When you come down, throw it. And on the moment of impact, push. Push. Now you're not going to do this physical extension up and straighten up like I'm doing this to be dramatic. Show you what the muscles are doing. But it's a subtle movement. It's a subtle twitch of muscle that pushes into the target. Now another thing that might help is to remember that it's a circular whipping motion. Okay, you want to whip in, whip out. And that flip of the palm at the last second creates a circular energy that drives through the target. So these are some tips that help you with breaking coconut. Keep in mind that it's doable. I've done it. You watch YouTube videos, you see other people that have done it, and they do it well. So